I like service. Yeah, because a lot of people always serve me. Yeah, so I think I have a lot of experience about service.
I would like to make this world a better place. Like, there are lots of discontent, discord in our world, but by knowing more about each other, by stepping into each other's shoes, that you can really understand their needs, their concerns, what they want, and all this can help make, by mutual understanding, you can know more about each other and help making our world a better place, a more peaceful one.
If we want to have our younger generation more fruitful and more advancing towards and being more competitive with others, we need to do more.
But I like to think of service learning as the closest to a complete education.
It poses a great impact throughout my life, that changing my attitude and strengthen my belief in helping others, and also staying strong when we have difficulties.
After the service, I really pushed to continue my thinking about problems and other things for now.
Even the service recipients, their impact will be very short.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So is the learning part that the students most benefit from doing those service learning things, right?
Realization, awareness, and self-development.
Find more yourself.
Service and learning together.
When you put academic components into service and let students learn about these academic components through giving service to people.
Service learning is a way to encourage students to really to put their knowledge in practice. So the learning part is the most important one.
Service learning offers students the unique opportunity to engage with the society and rethink the meaning of their study and their role in society. In this episode, we will follow Dr. Nai, Dr. Chang, and Dr. Ng in the Service Learning Project, in which students visit and teach computing skills to children in Cambodia. Dr. Nai, Dr. Chang, and Dr. Ng will also share with us their experience of teaching service learning subjects and the challenges and rewards that come with it.
Service learning is rewarding, but I do have to say it is probably the most challenging thing in terms of teaching.
First challenge is from the student level. In general, whenever we bring students on these subjects, we always have students whose idea is to go on there as a cheap holiday and just to play. We find that the reflective essays have been a wonderful way in dealing with them.
This day seems a bit messy, but you guys make me know how to consider of others and make me know how to cooperate with you guys.
The reflection really helped us, and I really want to thank my supervisors and also their tutors. Yeah, they really help us because every night we have meetings and all that kind of thing that really help us, and they really do other kind of reflection with us when we went back to Hong Kong.
Giving them a lot of reflection to making them really think upon what they were learning, I think that actually had a very positive impact upon the motivation of our students, motivating them to actually put themselves aside and actually serve and try to learn from this experience.
So can you share with us about what you have learned?
You do not know the result if you never try. Just in case, if I did not go to Cambodia.
In the past, I was too target-oriented, like what I would like to do, what I would like to achieve. For some of the time, I may be quite reckless towards others' needs, like the service recipients' needs. I may not care too much about their needs, but through this experience that I learned that it is important for us to step into their shoes, to know more about their abilities, their needs, and to conduct their service projects in a more effective manner.
The other challenge that I can think of immediately is in terms of the challenges in terms of knowledge that we are dealing with. Another example also comes from this summer when we actually put together a project that involved bringing our students to this orphanage that was serving HIV/AIDS positive orphans. We gave a lot of training. We gave them a lot of preparation. We had doctors come in from Prince of Wales Hospital. We had the orphanage director come in to talk about the orphans and so on. They went in there within 3 seconds. They were with the kids. They were talking with the kids. They were playing with them. They were holding them. And I think that the biggest difference was the amount of preparation that we gave them.
As one of the preparation activities, students participated in a warm-up service at a local school of special education, in which they visited and played games with a group of mentally challenged kids. At the end of the service, they were given a debriefing by Dr. Nai.
Let me just ask a question on my own, okay? Who was not comfortable at the beginning? The reason why we brought you here is because think about this environment. This is a very normal environment, right? Look at how clean the place is. I wonder how many of our classrooms in Angkor are this clean. Now think about Cambodia. You are in a very different environment. I guarantee you it will be nowhere as clean as here. The kids will be something that you have not seen before. Some of the kids today, they were mentally challenged, but they were clean. Some of the kids in Cambodia will not be clean. Most of them will not be wearing shoes. You will not be wearing shoes. The environment will not be clean like this. There will be dust, there will be dirt everywhere, right? So in a way, the reason why we brought you here is because we want to see how you will react to the challenge of being in a situation that is not exactly something that you're used to.
Well, I'm really glad that I come and be able to observe this particular project in this class. It is obvious that Professor Ngai, Grace, Stephen Chan, Professor Chan had prepared them very well. The expectation of the student need to be well prepared. I think the staff themselves need to be well prepared. I think this is one lesson that I hope that at least I learned from this experience, and I certainly will try to encourage all the staff to remember that when they start designing a service learning course.
We always make the students work in a team, and as we shared just now, there are lots of problems in terms of teamwork, students working together. Throughout the process, the students actually learn how to work with each other, handle personal conflicts, handle differences of opinion, and through the process, they're actually assessing each other. Sometimes we don't really need to go in and say, okay, who has been the leader? It is obvious from how they interact with each other who has been stepping up. Sometimes we put this student in as a team leader. It turns out another person is actually a much more effective leader. And this we can see because we work alongside them when we can see them. And the assessment sometimes is actually quite easy because it is quite very obvious.
Then also, because we are the team, we need to know what happened during the conversation, during the visit. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
I was just thinking about how students learn, how service learning connects to the academic discipline, and I think that one of the ways that they connect the most is that it actually lets students take whatever they were learning in the classroom and put it to real use. All of the stuff that is from 312 all of a sudden starts to make sense, and that was because they actually had to understand this stuff in order to put it in place.
Most of the times in the class, we lecturer only taught about some theories, and in fact we may not know how the theory works. But when we go into the real world and we work with that theories, and we find that, oh, this theory is work like that.
And in some of our other projects, when we actually get students to go and teach, because we are from the Department of Computing, we ask them to go in and teach, programming or something like that. And really, one of the students came back and told me, so, wow, you know, when I started preparing the lesson plans, when I started teaching, then I realized how many holes there were.
I remember in these few days I have taught my studentmates, because I'm living in home, I taught my studentmate about the programming. Yeah, and I really learned a lot from her, because I remember we revised the programming language, because I haven't touched programming for nearly one semester. Yeah.
Through those service learning projects, they provide the triggers, the catalyst,
yeah,
for students to eager to learn more, and then we can offer them more afterwards.
Yeah.
That is the trick.
Yeah.
I mean, we are not saying that all the service learning projects can fulfill all different components of IT professional knowledge. That is not necessary. But then it serves as a way to initiate and motivate our students.
Yeah.
That is more important. That is the purpose of education.
Yeah.
Service learning is to use one's intrinsic value to bring out some extrinsic force that is spare to you, that is spare for you, but is essential for others.
Service learning can help you find more yourself.
I think that doing the service learning subjects are probably, even forget the subject, even the project itself is probably one of the most demanding things that I've had to deal with. I think the biggest thing is that it's one of the most satisfying things that I've ever done. It's one of the most challenging things that I've ever done, but it's also one of the most personally satisfying things. To see the students grow, to see how to actually watch them grow over the course of one summer while they are working with the projects. I remember one summer where you see the student at the beginning of the summer and you see him at the end of the summer, and you're like, wow, you know, this kid is like two different people. And then watching them, you know, start from being just simply participation to starting to coordinate, to starting to lead, and to start to propose projects. And towards the end of his academic studies, he was actually going out and recruiting new projects back for us. And that is just so completely amazing. And I don't know, I mean, in many ways, I see our students as, okay, you know, they're not my kids, but they're somebody else's kids. And, you know, I'm sure that his parents would be happy to see him learning something like this. And as his teachers, you know, it is the duty and the responsibility that society or our job has placed upon us. But at the same time, it's also just, I mean, what could be more satisfying than actually seeing us make an impact in somebody's life, something that visible. You know, you could teach like a half a dozen subjects, get a really good SFQ, and still not see that, because the students will not remember you after the subjects. But for the service learning projects, I've never had a student who went on the service learning and they could not remember me afterwards. That's not gonna happen, yeah.
I think, you know, it is important, now I'm more convinced than ever, that particularly for academic staff who had never done it before, I would strongly encourage those staff to take time to come out to one of the service learning courses to understand and experience what this is all about before you get into the planning, before you get into the designing of the course on your own.